only believe in marrying someone from the Orthodox Jewish religion, their gene pool is very small. Okay, like if you go out here and just meet somebody and y'all fall in love and you decide to get married, decide to have children, or whatever the case might be, that's a huge gene pool. But because they're staying within a certain group, the gene pool is small, and that allows for recessive traits to show up more, because that's what it is. It's a recessive trait. And mom and dad, of course, didn't suffer because they're still here. Okay, so they pass along the recessive allele, and the child is the one who suffers, and there is no cure. The children are going to die that get it. Now, peroxisomes. Ever heard of those? This is another vesicle that stays within the cell, and if you hear the term peroxisome, make you think about hydrogen peroxide? Okay, that is because hydrogen peroxide is a byproduct. Once again, these are doing something to break materials down. Some of the materials, they help to break down fatty acids. Your body takes fatty acids that we consume and transports them in a little vesicle in the blood. And they make their way to the cells, and then the cell has to break that vesicle down so that it can use the little fatty acids. It's really cool, okay? Now, the other thing that happens when we take in materials that can provide us with amino acids. Amino acids, they pretty much get used immediately. They are not something that get that we keep a store of. Okay? So amino acids, foods that we take in, the digestive system, cells that are located there, will break them down. Now the problem is breaking down these two products. Because of the bonds that are present in those products, they are going to create some byproducts. Hydrogen peroxide is a byproduct. Do you happen to know the formula for hydrogen peroxide? H2O2. Hydrogen peroxide. How many of y'all like to use it on a cut or a scrape or something like that? Just whoosh. What does it do when you put it onto it?
Bubbles.
It bubbles. All right. Some people like to use it in their mouth as a rinse. Okay. Yeah. Did that once. It was a little fun. No. Okay. Supposed to be very cleansing. But do you happen to know why it does that major fizzing?
Release of oxygen?
The release of an oxygen.
Okay.
All right? Meaning H2O2 will break down into a water, which is H2O, and then what's left is just an oxygen. Wait a minute. Just an oxygen in our body? Why would one little tiny oxygen be an issue?
It's lovely.
Huh?
It's lovely.
This is what we call a free radical. That oxygen that's free has 6 electrons in its outer shell. It is not happy. All right? And so what it'll do, it'll go around in the body, it'll go around in the cells, and it'll just bam, 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 bam into everything, break it up, become a free radical. It's breaking up good stuff that we need, all right? And, of course, too much of this in our bodies can lead to lots of problems. One of the biggest is cancer. But there you go. Those are supposed to take care of it. Hopefully, maybe, possibly. Now, have you ever heard of a proteasome? All right. Protea, protein. All right. We have to make sure that stuff that's protein-based, because proteins are amino acids. Amino acids are needed to build proteins. Therefore, we need to make sure that anything that has amino acids, that we get it and we reuse it. For the most part, the amino acids that we need, how many are there? 20. Okay? Now, 20. That's it. Can you just begin to imagine now your entire genetic makeup is based on 20 amino acids. Think about that. Anyway, so proteins. Technically, we're supposed to get all of the needs of our body from our foodstuffs. All right? However, very few people eat a balanced diet, and very few people are going to take in foodstuffs that are going to supply what is essential, something that the body can't reproduce, okay? That we actually have to have it from our diet, okay? Very few of us are going to pay attention to that. So anything that this body can get, protein-wise, it wants to recycle it. It wants to break down that protein, reuse those amino acids, and make more proteins. So proteasomes are going to help with that. Mitochondria. Site of ATP synthesis, our energy. Mitochondria are amazing. I don't know if when you took bio, if your professor taught you about the symbiotic theory of, okay, and it's amazing to me. Mitochondria have their own DNA. They take care of their own cell processes. We do nothing. Our bodies do nothing to help mitochondria. Nothing. We simply benefit from the mitochondria functioning. They give us the ATP. They have their own membrane. They have their own DNA. They take care of their own life processes. They have a lifespan. They'll live for a certain amount of time. They die. Depending upon how active the cell is, will determine how much mitochondria will be present. For example, in the heart, well, you know, the heart, I mean, I don't know about y'all, okay, but it's beaten 24/7, 365, 366 if it's a leap year, all right, all the time. Now, if it doesn't, you're not going to know anyway because you're going to be dead, okay? But the cells of the heart, mitochondria, are huge. Now, they die off, they reproduce. I mean, it's amazing. Everything for your mitochondria you get from your mom. Dad has nothing to do with your mitochondria. All of it comes from mom. That's pretty cool. Now the centrioles, spindle fibers, in our body, all but 2 types of cells need to make copies of themselves. They need to duplicate in some way. What 2 cells of the body do not duplicate?
Muscle.
Muscle, nerve. Okay? Other than that, all of the other cells of our body have to carry out mitosis or meiosis. Meiosis is going to occur where? Meiosis. In the sex cells, which are also known as what?
Reproductive cells.
The ovaries and the testes. Other than this, all other cells of the body are carrying out mitosis. The centrioles, we have an area near the nucleus that's called the centrosome. This is what's going to give us microtubules. These microtubules play a bigger part than just the centrioles. However, for the cell to divide, these have to duplicate, and then we have to have one set stay over onto this end of the cell, and the other set move to the other set of the cell. And as they do that, they create spindle fibers. The microtubules, okay? They create these spindle fibers that our chromosomes in the X shape, okay, will connect to so that they can pull apart. And you can have one cell when it's all done, okay? So these centrioles and the spindle fibers, they are important in our cell division. However, for our cells, these structures play other parts. One of the things that exist on some of our cells, not all of them, on some of our cells we have cilia. Cilia are little projections, and they're coming off of the cell surface. There can be some parts of the cytoskeleton attached to it, and their job is to do the wave, woo, all the way around the cell, right, that they're found, okay? Wherever they're found, their job, woo, just like you see in a stadium, all right? What it's doing, it is propelling something. Now, what do I mean by that? Okay, can you think of an area of the body where this would be important? Part of your respiratory system. Your respiratory system is lined with cells that have the cilia, because you're going to find mucus, because there's mucous membranes. The membranes that open to the outside, any hole, any area of the body that opens to the outside environment is lined with a mucous membrane. All right? Now, all day long, we are bombarded. Have you ever looked at the stuff flying around in a light? Where is it going? And what is it?
Dust.
What is dust?
Like dead skin cells.
Over 80% of what you see in that light is dead skin cells. Everybody that's been in this room today has shed them. You don't get to get away not doing that. Okay? And it makes up the dust. And what are we doing? We're breathing. All right? Well, your body wants to make sure that this stuff only goes to a certain spot.